talking, and then it didn't show up for like 3 minutes maybe. And people join, and that's just a suggestion. You can go now if you want.
Good evening, peeps. Welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. Yes, I am back. Kinesics Tomo, obviously after last week, missing last week. We are one shy tonight because unfortunately our friend Top Notch is otherwise engaged. Hopefully he's looks like he's got a bit of an injury, so I hope he gets better. Get better soon, Top Notch.
Get well soon, mate.
But I am joined by Primus. Primus, good evening.
Good evening, Tomo.
And of course, I'm joined by Starkers himself, Peppermeat. Hey, mate, how you doing?
You alright, gents? You alright? You alright?
Good. So obviously, we've just done round 12, wasn't it? Round 12, Hungary, and we've had some epic races this week. I had the luxury of commentating 2 races. So did you, Primus. Apparently Element and Bodder commentary was hilariously funny and brilliant.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want. We want some great action, great driving, and a lot.
Well, that's what I'm here for, aren't I?
Yeah, we have got a lot to talk about. We've got a few announcements to make. Nothing major, but just a couple of things that have been flying around. So, for example, one of the big announcements that was thrown out this week was 2 big announcements. One of them was No Shoals, unfortunately, left the league this week. It's a bit of a shame to see him go.
Unfortunate.
So, hopefully, he's watching back, and good luck, guy. Good luck, dude. Hopefully, we'll see you in the future. And another big one was Mr. Roberts stepping down as chief division head. And obviously, he and to be perfectly honest, let's throw a big throw out there. He did an awesome job so far as chief division head. So fair play to you, mate. Got a few, but obviously he's got a couple of people in the places. He's got Jake and Camo as division heads, and obviously he's got his vice division heads that are doing a grand job in each division. I think you guys will probably agree with me on that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Roberts is the reason I'm here, racing RSF1. You asked me first.
Well, I mean,
that's why I'm here.
The thing about it is, like I said, Roberts has got
good man, Roberts.
I've got a lot of time for Roberts. Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Roberts. A lot of people got a lot of time for Roberts, and he's a good lad. And but he's not left the league. He's still racing, but and which is great. So he's just just carrying on with his racing. But like I said. It's not going to be the same without him, but we move on. So
mad respect for what.
A few hello,
That's fine. That's fine. Peppermeat, go for it. I just
go for it, Peppermeat. Go for it, son.
Sorry, just a few hellos in the chat there. I dyslexic. What's going on? Bodda 86. Hello. What's going on? We're here. We're live and ready to go.
Whoa! Bodder's actually live. God, blimey, Bodder, you feeling all right? What's going on there? Jesus.
You all right, mate?
He's never live. He always listens to it back. I always listen to that back, Tomo. I just haven't got a time. That's what I keep on getting told.
He's here right now.
So
go ahead.
No Patronus. Yeah, go on, Promise. What are you saying? Sorry, dude.
So basically, going on with Roberts, because he was basically in charge of all 4 divisions, and he had to work with the division heads and vice division heads in all 4 leagues for quite divisions for quite a handful of weeks. And not just anyone can do that. And the fact that he stepped up, he did that, he managed it very, very well. You got to give the man the absolute respect that he deserves, because running 80 people in one go, I couldn't even do that. It's impressive, and it's good that he's still racing. And the division heads and the vices will carry on his work. But I'm pretty sure they worked with Roberts, and he knows that all 4 divisions are in capable hands.
Absolutely, yeah, and also he was a committee member as well. So if you think about it, he's part of the committee as well. Every Friday. So not only doing 90 drivers, division heads, and obviously the stuff like that, but also going to meetings with the guys, making all the big calls and stuff like that. But anyway, let's move on because let's start with Sunday. So Sunday we had the F2 race at Hungary, and Primus, you was commentating with Bodder on that night. Go for it. Tell us what you know. What give us a little bit of feedback about the race.
Well, me and Bodder both went into Hungary thinking it's definitely going to be a interesting track to watch out for, because, as we know, track position was like extremely crucial, and so what happened is F2 really went in strong. You know, you had the man with the cash. He's actually really showing true pace, you know, because he's had a couple of races over the past couple of weeks where he showed really amazing pace. He went for amazing strategies, and unfortunately something got in the way and he fell back and lost that opportunity. But the first time ever, like, man with the cash got a attack going, and you know he was on a really good roll in Hungary. And also, we found out that, you know, his previous name used to be Josh before he changed his name to the man with the cash. Turns out his name's not even Josh. It's Jason. He told that to us in the podium, and the worst part is no one could even hear that, because I got a message from a friend after the stream, which, by the way, is not even into league racing. You know, I recommended it to him and he enjoyed it, but he told me he couldn't hear the man with the cash. So, you know, everyone couldn't hear what he was saying, but it was a really good race. We had we had Roberts in third at the end of it, so going through Hungary, because it was a bit of mix with the weather. The qualifying was very mixed with the weather, but then it was like a dry race, and so Roberts was third. Man with the Cash was second, and Magic Marks won it again. You know, he got first place. He did really, really well. And the driver of the day actually was Roberts, because Roberts actually went from 13 to third. You know, he had very poor qualifying and he managed to fight his way up the grid. And then, you know, bam, he makes his way up into the podium. So, yeah, it was a really good race for F2.
Thought I would have been driver of the day, but carry on. You know, whatever.
That's pretty much it. Mate, could have, would have, but you weren't, so there you go, mate. So
yeah, I actually qualified P6 on a track that I didn't really like, so it was actually alright. Bit of a turn, bit of a lap one incident, sorry.
A little bit of a shout out, sorry, Pepper Meat, to the Mex guys. You know, a couple of new guys in F2. Yeah. We actually had Mex Senna. He was a brand new one in F2. Tarup was actually in Germany, so it wasn't his debut. It was his second race. But, you know, both the Mex boys, you know, mixing into the fold. Senna didn't have a really good start, but, you know, he did his best. And I know you did as well, Pepper Meat, because you had a bit of a poor start to the race, but you made a nice comeback.
Yeah, lap one, qualified P6, lap one incident, got spun around, came back on last, and just had to fight my way back up. Had the one stop from softs to hards, so it was okay. Wasn't great.
No,
I finished sixth as well.
F1 is speaking of F1 actually. Oh, sorry, F2 should I say? Sorry, apologies for that. Let's talk about where everybody is. So, looking at F2, I'm just having a quick look here. So we've got it here. So actually, unfortunately, no, not all of it. Unfortunately, I haven't got the whole. Yes, I have. I've got it here. There we go. So, so as it stands, because obviously round 12 hasn't been updated, so just to give you an idea. So at the moment, in the lead, this is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is F2. So in the championship lead is Magic Marks and Racing Point with 152 points. Then you've got our good buddy Mr. Brundle in the Renault with 112. So he's only 40 points behind, keeping Magic Marks honest. Skunk Burner, who apparently is coming back soon, he's on 108 with Peppermeat in fourth. Hey, 102, mate, in the McLaren. Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, it's not bad. Mr. Roberts is in fifth with 97 and a half. Man with the Cash and the Ferrari in sixth with 82. Then you got Patronus and the McLaren, your teammate, 57. Jake Moore and the Red Bull, there's both the Red Bulls actually. Jake Moore and Senna with 56 and 43 respectively. Mr. Shane in the other RSF in the Racing Point, he's got 32 points. John Digweed, he's got 30. Charismic with 26. You've got WRR Stretch with 16. Manson with 11. Cross Kerry with 8. And then Pierre with 6. And then, of course, we've got Mex Omar, as you mentioned, Primus. You've got Mex Strap and obviously Mex Sinner. But yeah, I mean, obviously, as far as the championship, the constructors, it is very, very close. So Racing Point, 184 points. Renault, 178 points. Very close. And McLaren, 150, and McLaren, 159 points.
Go on,
so
Orange.
Still all to play for. The top three there. Just separated by 12, pretty much. You're only 25 points behind Racing Points. That's pretty good. Williams is in fourth with 130. Ferrari 103. Red Bull 99. Haas 98. Toro Rosso 95. Alfa Romeo under 36. Joining points with Mercedes. So that's F2. Peppermint, you must be happy sitting fourth in the championship, aren't you?
Yeah, I didn't actually, at the start of the season, I didn't actually think, I'd do so well, but I started off with like 2 4th places and then a win, so I just tried to build on that consistency. And Petronas as well is a good racer, so picking up points for the teams and racing well,
Absolutely.
Finishing well.
So we got rid of F2, and we had a bit of, it was a bit wet weather, wasn't it, Primus? A bit wet weather in F2, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the
sure
qualifying mainly.
So then, anyway, so we went to F1 on Tuesday, which I had I got the joys of commentating along with Brundle on that one. Excuse me. And again, same thing. Qualifying was all was literally, it was all over the place. But Pigeon got his first pole position. Did very well, and the race was just fantastic. It was unbelievable. I mean, Mr. Pigeon defended like hell for the first 26 laps against Unity Husk, and just completely was just, those two were just fighting, and unfortunately for Pigeon, he just couldn't hold on to the lead. Unity managed to get past him, and a lot of people actually said that it was a great race to watch, but even a good race to listen to in the comms, because apparently I wasn't letting up. Somebody actually mentioned. Somebody mentioned in the comment. Actually, Patronus actually said, "Brundle, can you take over? Because Tomo needs a breather." So that was quite amusing actually at one point. But no, the race was amazing. It was just relentless all the way through. And fair play to Unity, and also, I mean, fair play to Pigeon. He did extremely well. But a big shout out for Dyslexic, because he got third as well, because he came from nowhere and for the Williams and got up to third. So fair play to him. So well done, Dyslexic, on that one. Did you guys watch the race on Tuesday?
I didn't see it now, personally. But yeah, I heard it was a really good race.
I watched it back after I heard a lot from how you felt it was, and when I heard how Pigeon was racing, I had to look it up. And I tell you what, Tommy, first of all, massive compliment on your commentating skills. You actually are an outstanding commentator, and and the battle going on between Pigeon, Pigeon and Unity was incredible. I have a feeling it's like Pigeon's best performance he did, and the fact that he put up such an amazing battle with Unity Hush for the entire race. He got driver of the day out of it. When I heard that he got driver of the day, I actually was like, yeah, he deserved that, because that was outstanding, racing all the way through. And I won't say it's my favourite F1 race, but it was amazing, because I still think Britain was my favourite F1 race that was shown. But I tell you what, Hungary was definitely a good runner-up.
Oh, I have to disagree with you on that. When a lot of people have shouted that F1 Austria was probably the race so far. And funny enough, I said this to Brundle actually, when we finished the stream, that when me and him come together as commentators, something special happens on the F1 track because we commentate in Austria. We got a brilliant race out of that. It was awesome. You know, it was just battles all over the place. It was hard to keep up. And then we had then we had the battle between Pigeon and Unity, and we had some battles in fifth and stuff like that. So it was really good. But let's just quickly run through the World Championship for F1. So Unity obviously has got the lead of 157 points. So he's 157 points. He's got scored. Then is Gary in second, 64 points behind him, 93 points. Then Ozza in third with 86. John MH 2002 in the half season 68. Dyslexic with that. Well, obviously he'll move up the championship, I think, but he's got 61. Vettel Zuf, as I call him, 55. Bamba Viking 48. RSR Clays with 43. Fatal Fan with 31. Mr. Pigeon 26. Smoking Bates 22. And then it's Oaks with 7. TH3 with 7. Oxford 4. BF1 race actually. Sorry about that. Massive shout out to him. He returned for the Hungary Grand Prix, so nice to see him back. He's got 2 points.
Go on, son.
Darren 21
back,
in the 1. Yeah, welcome back, mate. And then of course you've got now if we look at, so obviously Unity's running away with it. You know, 64 points in the lead. He did win the race, and I believe Gary finished 6th, so he's going to pull more points away from him. But in the championship itself, it's the same sort of thing again. Haas with 218 points. Second is Renault with 176. Then it drops down to Williams at 120 and McLaren 109 for the top 4. So looks like it's well, I would say it's probably the next couple of races. I think it might be Unity's to walk away with. But what do you reckon, mate?
I think you're spot on there. Unity's a really quick racer. Gary's no slouch though, so you need to stay on your toes though. Really
absolutely, good. Definitely, without a shadow of doubt. So that's the one to look forward to. And of course, when we've got Belgium coming up, we've got some 2 fast tracks coming up. You know, Belgium and Monza as well. That'd be great.
Oh, so. I love a bit of Belgium, me.
Oh yeah, I've heard about you and your Belgiums. So anyway, so we moved to F3. And Primus, who got a really good podium in the F3. Sorry, F4. F4 race. Sorry, F4. Apologies. F4 for Wednesday. So well done for you, Primus. And the thing was, the top 4 could not be separated. Absolutely could not be separated. Literally, all 4 of them were within a second of each other. And it was, obviously, Mr. T won the race. Primus, you got second. And Spiral got third, and McCracklin got fourth. So, you know, all 3 of you guys deserved a fantastic drive. But how about your race then, Primus? How was your race?
It was really good. You know, it was a special race for me, Hungary. You know, because I know my championship battle is quite close, but like, you know, I had a really, you know, it was like a real dedication race for me because. You know, the Hungaroring was the first actual race of F1 I actually watched after my dad died, you know, so I was just like, you know, I'm giving it my all in this track. I want to fight. And I felt really good. And then going into the start, we had that mass instant into turn 1, which really shook up the whole race because it managed to shift everything about. And my big shout out to Mr. T, he managed to go from 8th to 1st, and he managed to make an amazing climb. And after that, it was I got my head down. I was racing. I had McCracken pressurizing me in the beginning, and then like 3 laps in, 3 or 4 laps in, the rain instantly came down. We all pitted, and I was fighting Toby literally the entire race, start to finish. I was on his back, and I didn't get off of him. And then we had a couple of pit stops, and I almost got the undercut on Toby. Literally, the moment I came out of the pits, because it was inters all the way, so we had to make another stop because when the first set of inters would not have made it to the end of the race, so we had to do another stop. Toby went in. I pushed everything I could on the nice in lap. Really good in lap, really quick pit stop. It was actually my fastest pit stop that I've ever done. And then the moment I come out the pits, it's nearly side by side fighting going out. And then McCracken, it went from McCracken fighting me to Spiral. So I had Spiral Acer Facer. He's really, really fast. I have a feeling if if it wasn't for the fact that it was raining, he probably could have gotten past me, but he just, he had to deal with McCracken behind him, and then me in front, and then at one point, not just pressurizing Toby up in front, I was actually under pressure from 2 cars behind me at the exact same time, because the gap between me, Spiral, and McCracken was not even a second away from each other. They were close.
Now, I've got a
and
question
then in
for
the
you,
end,
actually, Primus. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but before the race, somebody came to me and brought something to my attention. Now, I need to bring this up in the podcast because I think Pepper and me needs to know about this, because obviously we're a team here, right? We're a family here in the podcast, you know what I mean? And obviously the guys want to know. But apparently you and Spiral had some alone time with each other. I mean, that's what I've been told. I've been told you had some alone time.
Not in what you're
alone time
thinking.
together.
You what?
You know what I mean? And apparently, one thing's led to another, and I don't know what's going on here, but you want to just, you know what I mean? That's what I've been told.
I'll give you an insight.
So
basically, normally,
Prepper, we didn't get told this. I found this out on the down low, and I was asked to put this up in the podcast.
I'm only hearing this
Right.
now, me.
So normally during the week, me, No Shells, Vettel Fan, and Spiral, we normally practice. We go in the F2 cars, we go into the classic F1 cars. We practice around the certain tracks. And I've been quite busy this week because I've recently just got my new job, and I'm now leaving my old job. And thank you. And so I had no time for practice. I mean, I've been doing time trials, but I've never actually practiced around Hungary on any other tyre than the softs. So I felt it was very needed to do it. At the time, Spiral was online. He was on F1 doing time trials, and I just went, look, mate, there's an hour to go to the race. I've not had any practice on any other tyres, and I've not really done any race stints because, time trial doesn't allow you to mess with fuel and anything like that, and ERS saving. So me and Spiral, we tried getting some people in. No one joined.
One thing led to another, and pictures were exchanged. That's what I got told, man. I got told these things. Pictures got exchanged. You know what I mean? I mean, listen. That's all good and all, man. But you have to tell us.
Research purposes.
Tell us. You know what I mean? So we don't have to tell them on the down low. You know what I mean? Dude, you know what I mean?
I might need to have a look at these for research purposes. What kind of pictures are these?
Yeah. I know, it's bad, isn't it? You know what I mean? I can't believe it. You know what I mean? It's disgraceful.
I'm crying,
this man, literally, absolutely, it's disgraceful. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be setting an example there, Primus. You know what I mean? What's the matter with you? So, anyway,
it's 2019, dude.
Just for you, buddy. That was just for you, pal. You know what I mean? So you asked me to do it. I've got it out there. So, but anyway, so now I've completely embarrassed you.
Peppermeat's comment just killed me.
So anyway, going into F4, this is the championship as it stands. This is the end of Germany, which is Gisaurus, top of the tile, 117. Then we got Mr. Primus Gamin at 111.
Oh, for God's sake.
With his new best buddy pal bum chum, Mr. Spiral Racer. 105. Alco Saints with 92, then McCracken with 90, Mr. T in 75, Timmer in 73, then there's obviously the King on 47, myself, Blazer Guns, he's on 34, Webster on 27, 4 on 26, Bennett on 26 as well, Timothy, he's on 25, or Kim McKay, Ted First, he's just come back into, he's just started, he's on 20, Overcome Orphan on 17, Tom the Eco-Maniac on 14, and then there's Flaming, Wadders, Overside, and obviously we've still got a position open for the other halves. And as for the constructors...
It's Junior.
Oh, yes, of course, it's Junior. Junior! Yes, sorry, you know what? I completely forgot. Junior is back. You know what I mean? The legend, the myth, the man, the myth, the legend. He is returned to where he belongs. You know what I mean? It's good to see him back and racing with us in F4. So nice to be there, Junior. Thank you very much. Welcome back. So in the championship, in the constructors, Alfa Romeo 219 points. Then it's followed closely by Red Bull with 203. Very close now. And then it drops down to McLaren 136, Racing Point 116, and Ferrari on 115. So still to play for in F4. So that was the 3, and then we found the dream team apparently came together. Myself and Primus, we got the opportunity to commentate with each other. and we got to watch a classic F3 race yesterday, which was awesome. A little bit controversial. Would you agree there, Mr. Primus?
I do definitely agree there because Rhombus, well, as we know, is Route 915, you know, it was fighting Easton in the race, and Easton left no room, and he even admitted that in the podium after the race, that he left no room for Rhombus, and unfortunately it sent Rhombus down the end of the grid, and that pretty much, you know, set his race down a very bad path. So it definitely was a very, you know, naughty move, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, but if you take that move out of the equation, right, we got to witness a couple of really good key battles. Battle for fifth. Element got a really good position. He finished in fourth. Top Notch obviously finished third. He got a podium. But the battle that we were trying to keep in touch with was the battle for the first, and it was. We had Easton, who's done very well. Obviously, yeah, we mentioned the little coming together with Route 915. But we had a brand spanking new driver in the Toro Rosso, which was Bresner, and managed to bring home on his first debut race a second place finish, which is pretty impressive.
Nice.
And more importantly than that, all race, every single lap, he was keeping within half a second of Easton. Every single lap, except for a couple of laps where he was like maybe just over a second, but the majority of the time he was within half a second of Easton all the way through. Was not allowed.
Nice debut, mate. Well done.
That is, it's a fantastic debut. I thought it was
and
brilliant.
The amazing teamwork that Toro Rosso displayed as Porter kept giving Bresner the tow. So once Easton came out of the pits, it gave Bresner the launch to continue to fight with Easton. So, you know, amazing teamwork from the Toro Rosso team.
Yeah, definitely, without a shadow of doubt. It was a great battle to watch. Fair play to DPS Racing. He got driver of the day from qualifying 17th and finishing 6th. That was actually a really good position, doing really good. That was very impressive, you know. So, no, it was a really, really good race for F3. It finished the week off on a really good... all divisions were very, very good. You know, some of the divisions had to do with wet races and some of them were dry races. So, but yeah, I mean, it was great. But let's just have a look at the championship, because one person we got a shout out to that had the race to forget was Moronics, wasn't it, Primus? He was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he finished 9th, which was not the best position. Bearing in mind that, obviously, now, fortunate enough, Route 915...
Hello?
Hello there? What's going on?
Tomo just cut off.
He did. His controller probably went out or something. What was he saying about
okay, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that.
Right.
But yeah, so like I said, obviously Easton, the championship rival, pretty much won the race. But obviously it's under review at the moment. I think it's gone to the stewards to have a look at, so we'll have a look at that. But let's look at the championship standings, which is... So Moronix is leading the championship he's got 197 points. In second place is Jace Lee, who did not race last night, so that was a bit of a bonus for Moronix. He's in second with 121. Then it's Bodder with 90, Element Snow with 66, DPS Racing with 62, Easton with 59, Fordy with 55, Top Notch with 47, Route 915 with 43. That's pretty good after a couple of races already, scoring nice points. Camo with 39, Falcon with 36, Eyes the Beast with Eyes the Best with 36, Old Manzi 34, Duffel Lump 23, Porter with 22. Brave Container 8, or as I call him, hey dude, how's it going? Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, you know what I mean. But I have to say, we got a bit of a shout out. I'll come back to that in a minute. So if we look at the championship, the actual championship for constructors, you've got Haas with 244. Their closest challengers at the moment is Williams with 192 points. Then the McLaren with 152, Racing Point 119, Mercedes 119. Obviously Racing Point and Mercedes both sharing the points there. So yeah, at the moment, very, very close to call. But obviously the championship has been Moronix to win. But after 9th place in Hungary, do you reckon he's going to feel the pressure a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. The fact is he only made up one position from start to finish because he actually qualified 10th. As you said earlier, it definitely was a race to forget for him, but I don't know if it will affect Moronix's momentum because, you know, we all have bad races every now and then.
Yeah.
I do think that he'll probably bounce back in Belgium, but if he actually starts to struggle in Belgium, then it could be a sign that Moronix is starting to lose a little bit of form.
Maybe the pressure might be getting to him. You never know. But one of the biggest shocks that we got when we were watching qualifying, was Camo. When he set the fastest lap I've seen for Q1. Now, bearing in mind, I said to Primus, look, watch out for Easton, watch out for Route 915, and watch out for Ronix because they will. One of them will set a lap. Somebody will come along and beat it. Somebody along will come and beat it again. Which that's what happened, wasn't it? But then Camo came along out of nowhere, spun out. You know, got himself all settled out, you know, obviously made a mistake, and then in his last lap, set a 16, I think it was a 16.6, wasn't it, Primus?
16.5, I think.
16.5, and he was half a second quicker than Easton in Q1. But Q2, we turned to Q2 thinking, like, you know, because we were sitting there thinking, who's going to be top 3? And with Camo doing what he did in Q1, it was like, don't know, it could be anything. And what happened?
Trying a spanner in the works, did he?
Oh, he threw a spanner in the works, but here's the thing. He blew his load. Because he blew all his load in Q1. When it came round to Q2, he did 2 laps. He did 2 laps in the hards, didn't set a time, and then he was causing he was having problems all the time. So all that, you know, he built himself up, blew his load, and that was it. He was done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Blew me load.
So,
too early.
Yeah, DPS races is 1 minute wonder. Yeah, 1 minute wonder. Absolutely. Yeah. No, that was Camo last night, mate. It was like, oh, there you go. Oh, that's me done. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
That's my job done.
That's I'm done. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I came, I saw, and I didn't kick ass. You know what I mean?
I rolled over, I went to sleep during.
Yeah. Somebody robbed my belly because I fell asleep.
You know, we
anyway,
wanted to see more. He fell asleep.
Yeah, he did actually put me us. But now, I didn't think we were going to get any special guests tonight because I wasn't too sure if they were going to be on. But one has actually turned up, so we're going to get him in here because
there we go.
He deserves to be in here. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on. Well, you're going to find out now because he's coming right here. It's a bit of a surprise. I did have a chat with him and said to him, you know, you need to be here, which he has turned up. And the man has joined.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here he is.
It's Mr. DPS Racing, yes.
So
at least we got one special guest tonight. Unfortunately, Junior hasn't turned up. Unfortunately, he is otherwise engaged. So, but it was all good to see him. But we've got the driver of the day for F3 after his great fin. So, DPS. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. Your podcast debut, shall we say, tonight.
Thank you for having me.
That's right, mate. You know what I mean? I thought it would be nice. So, you know, I mean, obviously, we kept it a bit of a secret. As soon as you turned up, I got from Peppermint like, oh no. Don't know what's that all
just
about,
make,
you know what I mean? So,
just make sure you include your audio there, DPS.
yeah.
Want to hear your lovely accent on the stream?
Yeah, of course we do, mate. You know what I mean? We'd like to hear your lovely accent, but let's talk about yesterday. All right, you're great. Obviously, you got driver of the day, so you must be really pleased. You finished 6th. You qualified 17th. You know, are you still buzzing about that? You know, obviously, was you happy with that position? Was you quite happy with your performance? You know, how did you find it?
I think after Germany, I just wanted the most points I could get. Going into it, I wanted as many points as I could get. I was aiming for at least top 5, but obviously in Q1 I spun on my first lap and then thought maybe I could, instead of using another pair of tyres, went out on the ones I spun on, and yeah, it just wasn't good enough, so 17th. And then, just race my own race, really. And
well, you know, don't worry about it because you, like I said, you got driver of the day, so that was pretty good. we should actually give you a little bit of thought we'd give you a little bit of airtime, but you can join in a little bit of the fun as well because yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good because obviously that was another thing as well. Obviously, Peppermint, where did you finish in F1, by the way? Sorry, F2. Sorry, where did you finish in F2?
6th place, I believe.
6th place, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to start.
Both these McLaren drivers got 6th.
Obviously, you must have been
Go on,
driving your usual starkers. You know what I mean? Driving naked, you usually do.
That was yeah.
I think you might need
like
to
the
sort out your
banking, so I
weight.
adopted his style.
I think you need to sort out your ballast, mate. I don't think it's your aerodynamics, I think it's your ballast. You know what I mean? So either you need to bang one out before you start the race,
can't
or
do it,
you know what I mean?
unfortunately.
Or, you know what I mean? Or obviously get rid of the extra loads. You know what I mean? Just
Get your kit off. A couple of tenths there to be safe.
Well, you know what I mean. Obviously, you know they do say if you drop off the wife and kids down the toilet, you know what I mean. You're gonna get another 3 tenths out of that time. You know what I mean. So it would have probably got you up to like maybe 5th or 4th. So,
Don't you mean at the pool?
yeah, well, at the pool, yeah, toilet, pool, whatever.
I mean, I could have got 5th or I think 4th was on the cards. Maybe even a podium, 3rd place. Apart from that lap 1 incident where I got spun around.
But
And
it could have
dropped
been
to the back,
worse. It could have been worse, mate. It could have been worse. You could have set a fastest time in Q1 and bottled it in Q2, but there you go. So, you know what I mean? So it could have been worse.
You'll never
Or
let that
it
go.
could have been even more worse. You could have had a private chat with one of the best persons in F4 and actually exchanged pictures with him. Oh, mate, you know what I mean? It just gets even worse. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could have done that.
I want to
you know
see
what I
these
mean?
pictures, me.
Yeah, I know.
Intriguing.
I've heard about these pictures.
I just want to throw in that I want to give a shout
what he
out
said.
to DPS because Tomo, we're going to have a very strong conversation after this.
Hey.
So we're talking about that. I don't look. Sorry, mate. Unfortunately, this is my baby, so you obeyed by my rules, pal.
Anyways, going on to what I wanted to say, if it wasn't for DPS here, I wouldn't be in the league. So, you know, to see where I'm at now in my championship, being a commentator. No, legitimately, it was
blushing.
DPS because we raced in France. We had a really good battle, and literally one race we had together. We complimented each other after the race, and he just went, "Look, mate, we're starting up a league, and I think you should join." And then I did, and it's thanks to him that I'm here now.
What were you thinking,
it's been a pleasure
DPS?
having
I
you.
mean, yeah.
Actually, do you know what? Just there. Hold on a minute. Listen. Right, okay. I think we need to get something sorted out here because I think we're missing something here, right? I think you need to tell a little bit more about. Obviously, let's have a look. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can try to sort this out. So while you're talking to DPS and reminiscing about, the fact that he got you into this league and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I think I might have a little touch of music for you. Now, I'm not really. Normally, we don't normally do this, but I think.
Oh,
I
God.
think it really.
As long as
asks
it
for
doesn't break any copyright regulations.
No, I
do
can't
keep
do it.
in
I
mind
can't, actually,
that-
I was going to do it, but I can't do it. It would have been awesome.
It'll
you
get
know
the
what I mean?
baby taken down.
Music in the
I
background.
mean, it would have been like I was just looking. When if you ever a film fan, when Luke's standing by Darth Vader and he sets the fire and that music just comes on. It was just perfect right then. That music would have been awesome for you to explain. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
It was a day like today.
Yeah. I remember. Oh,
Remember as if it was yesterday.
I mean, it just breaks my heart. Anyway, moving on. So anyway, we got that out of the way.
Getting the
It gets
fishes
over
out.
half
Yeah.
really quick.
Yeah, well, I've had enough of that. That's a load of bollocks. So, but no, in fairness, DPS, thanks for refining this guy because if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have found Spiral. So listen, because of you started a new friendship right there. So congratulations,
Like,
mate.
you just bring
I
people
hope you're
together
like a
in
proud
ways,
father.
more ways than one.
I am.
Wait, what?
Oh,
How
like-
could you be
you
a
sitting there going,
grandfather when you're not even related, dude?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
adopt
like
it.
a proud father. You know what I mean? I adopted him into the league. He's found love.
Too much, apparently.
Right.
I bet you regret saying that now, Prime, as well.
Part of me is thinking about my resignation.
Oh,
No resignations allowed, pal. You know what I mean? You're stuck in here.
Yeah.
That's it. That's done. You know what I mean? So, no, we listen. It's all a bit of banter. You know what I mean? Last week I got it. This week you've got it. So anyway,
Next week I'll get
yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean? It's only fair. It goes
You already had
around
it
the
in
whole
week
team.
1, Peppermeat.
Well, actually, in fairness, you know what I mean? He's already admitted that he races naked. I'm just waiting for the time where he actually turns around and says, "Do you know what? That night I was actually talking to Shane, and he was in the bar."
Yeah. It's weird. Whenever I'm racing, Shane always Skype calls me. I don't know why, and he asks me to do a video.
I don't know what's going on between you and Shane, but whatever it is, you need to get a room. Let's get
scheduled.
Same day.
I think that's what he's actually hoping for. He's hoping for that phone call to say, "Dude, I'm here. I'm in Stoke. Come and meet me." He's waiting for that phone call.
I'd answer the door. Shane's a handsome man.
I reckon. I think. Sorry, you got to be like, Ed, Shane, I'm here in fucking Stoke. For fuck's sake, what's my here, man? And he'd be like,
Is Shane from Stoke?
No, he's a Scouser who found in Stoke. So you know what I mean. I don't know what happened, but apparently he walked out of Liverpool and found himself in Stoke. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if he's actually from Liverpool or he's actually from Manchester. You have to ask him that one. So, but there you go. Big shout out to you, Shane. I know I'll probably get that for a mouthful of abuse better, but there you go. So moving forward anyway. So we got Belgium next.
Oh yes, the racers track.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Yes, it's going to be fun, and I think we're going to have quite a number of incidents. And I reckon we're going to have a few maybe victims of a rouge.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, now, hold on a minute. Before I continue on, right, and I want to say this absolutely 100%, I mean that with absolutely nothing but the utmost respect for all the drivers, and obviously for the driver who unfortunately lost his life in the F2 race in Belgium. And I want to say right here from the people from the RSF1, I'm sure that all of us absolutely send all our thoughts and all our prayers to obviously the families of not only the driver who is recovering, but also unfortunately the family who actually lost a absolutely awesome driver. So
I've actually got good news regarding Correa. He's actually recovering now. He's had surgeries. He's got to go through physio because he was actually lucky to keep his legs after that incident. But he will have to be out of the car for a year, and he will have to undergo physiotherapy to make sure that he can fully regain the use of his legs. But he managed to just get out of that, because do remember Billy Monger had a very bad incident and he lost his legs, and it didn't stop him from getting back in the car. But I know Correa will do his best to try and get back into F2, and as Tomo said, prayers to Antoine Hubert and the Hubert family.
Yeah, absolutely. And but obviously we've got to come back to us here at RSF1. Because we've got a few more races left. We're almost to the end of the European season. And we've got some unbelievable tracks coming up. Obviously we've got Belgium, we've got Monza, we've got some iconic tracks coming up. With Suzuka coming flying around the corner, Singapore. We've got Brazil. Obviously we've got Abu Dhabi. We've also
Suzuka
got Mexico. Suzuka's going to be the one, you know what I mean? And obviously, we just to shout out to everybody, I don't know if anybody heard the news about it today, or probably some of you did, but obviously if you're going to watch qualifying on Saturday, it is not going ahead due to the typhoon. But however, the qualifying will be on Sunday morning at 2 o'clock, and then 4 hours later, they will be doing the race on Sunday morning. So if you do want to watch the F1 live qualifying and the live race of Suzuka, it will be at 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning.
That will be interesting.
British Standard Time.
Yeah,
I'm going to be up for that.
If they have an accident in qualifying, that can affect the race.
Well, the thing about it is that it's really bad, because obviously Mercedes are doing very, very well, from what I understand. Ferrari are having a few issues, and they're not going to have the extra lap practice, because unfortunately, it's not just affecting the Formula One. Obviously, a couple of the Rugby World Cup matches have been postponed as well, because of this unbelievable typhoon that's hit Japan. So, shout out to all the guys, everybody in Japan. Hopefully, you will stay safe. And obviously to all the Formula One drivers as well. Hope you stay safe
Yeah,
out
we
there
don't want-
as well.
It's a good call though, because we don't want cars going around aquaplaning. You know, we see what happened. And
Yeah. Remember
Well,
2014
it's
after
not
like
only
the
that, but also
aftermath
when you're
of the
driving
typhoon.
around, yeah, you know, with DRS wide open, and you know the winds
Yeah.
are going to be up to like, you know, at least, you know, 80, 90, possibly 100 miles an hour, you know, possibly faster than that. With pouring down rain, it's, you know, it's bad enough as it is in the dry, but with those sort of conditions, I think the FIA made a right call to say, look, let's just boycott it for Saturday and move it to Sunday. So, you know, I agree with that. But yeah, you know, some iconic tracks coming up. But as we were talking about Eau Rouge, I heard, and I read up about it actually for enough, and I don't know if you heard about this, Primus and Peppermeat, and you DPS as well, that after the patch, when they did the patch recently, they decided to slow the cars down for Belgium.
I've not heard of this.
Yes, yeah, they did actually. Fun enough, they actually slowed the cars down slightly on the patch for Belgium, because you know when you used to go flying out, you know, flat out running Rouge, and it was like absolutely no problems, even if you're doing time trial. It is really, really difficult, because if you don't get it right, you have to actually ease off the throttle just slightly to get round a Rouge without any problems. I was talking to Mr. T about it actually earlier. We were doing a bit of a session, a practice session, and he said to me, when I go into, and he's a quick driver for F4, as you know, Primus, and so do you actually, DPS and Peppermeat, and he even said when he hits a Rouge, he has to sort of just ease slightly off of the throttle to get through a Rouge without any issues. Otherwise, the front end will go or the back end will go, and you lose the car. So,
Didn't know that. It's a good tip to bring into, you know,
absolutely.
qualifying in the race Sunday, and whatever your race day is.
Because I've been in Belgium, and
yeah.
you got to be careful touching the curb, because there's like a curb on the left-hand side, you know, going up the hill. If your wheel even so much as touches that curb, like, you know, it could go over. It doesn't even have to go over. If your wheel touches that curb, invalid, and you're just like, what? I didn't even exceed any track limit, and it's like, nope, invalidated. So,
well, here's another thing as well,
even
guys.
difficult.
Just imagine if every single race, and I'm not going to try and put the curse out there, but we know how difficult Belgium is in the dry. Imagine what it would be like in the wet.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I like going
Could it be
fast through a Rouge,
1998
so-
all over again?
Yeah,
be.
pretty much. It could be a very, very interesting week this week with Belgium, and then of
about
course
that
the
first
following week
sector?
we've got Monza as well. So yeah, first sector, the first corner, first sector, first turn as well. We know, obviously, just want to shout out to all the drivers. Make sure you watch the first turn, because a race is not run
We don't
in the
want to
first
be
corner. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know what I mean? You've got
Yeah.
so many laps to do it in. So, so anyway, Peppermeat, you're going to be first up, racing Belgium. What are your thoughts? Are you looking forward to it? You're feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I love Belgium. Just hope it doesn't rain, because I'm a racer. I want to go as fast as possible through a Rouge. You know, don't want to have to lift off too much if it's raining or anything like that, you know. But yeah, it's a good track. I love it. I love watching it on TV. So,
Fair enough. And
it's going to be a good one.
Primus, what about you?
I'm feeling pretty good for Belgium. I do quite like it. It's a nice track. Obviously, time trials is going to be a little bit hard to fully practice on, because of how much they've slowed the cars, and also how very particular the exceeding track limits are. But I have a feeling, you know, once we're in there, you know, we're in there head down racing. I actually like Spa wet or dry. You know, it's a good track. Just overall, I do like it. So whatever the conditions are, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. DPS?
I think it's going to be a weird one. It's going to be who can get the best time in that first sector. But it's 50% races we do, and 50% around Belgium, I believe, is 22 laps. So it's a very short race on lap-wise.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, the
long
laps are long.
Well,
because,
but the thing about it is, it's I think it's like
Nearly.
almost 3 mile. It's 3 mile long track. It's the longest track in it's one of the longest tracks in the F1 calendar, really, to be honest, because it does take that much time. So that's one of the reasons why there's only 22 laps, really, if you think about
Almost
it.
2 minutes for an F1 car to get around it in one lap. So
Exactly, yeah. It's about 1 minute. I mean, if you think about it, it's 1 minute 45 to do one fast lap. So 1 minute
Yeah.
45. That's a long time to do a lap. But I mean,
Yeah,
that Singapore is the longest track of the calendar, so I believe. Because you're doing one for them two, Singapore and Belgium are both very long, iconic tracks. So, but you know, I might be wrong. Oh, and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
as
you've
well,
asked
actually,
everybody, but what are you looking forward to, Tomo?
What
do you think?
I was a little bit concerned, but I've managed to figure out a setup, and it's working pretty well for me. Where I'm actually doing Eau Rouge flat out. So I've managed to find something where I've actually don't ease off the pressure of the actual throttle, and I can actually do it flat out. Trust me, it took me 25 laps to figure out the setup because I was spinning all over the place because I just could not do Eau Rouge at all. And I thought, here we go, I'm not going to finish the race, I'm going to drop more points, and obviously, knowing my luck, I'll probably get bottle job from like Shane and all that sort of stuff, and then obviously Camo will join the bandwagon, blah blah. I can't know. Well, Camo's got the bottle job now. He literally is Mr. Bottler.
He's holding.
After his little,
All seriousness though, but I know for a fact that you're a really quick driver in F4 because I remember Britain and we had some good battles there, and you know I have a feeling that Spa is going to be a good battle. I'm hoping to have a little bit of battles with you on the track.
I'm looking forward to it, but I've got one track I'm really looking forward to, and we will be getting there within the next. Oh yes, I can't wait.
There we go.
I cannot
That's
wait
a
for
race.
this.
That's a proper racetrack.
It's my track. Well, funny enough, it is my track because I had a great last year. Obviously, I know it was a different league, but I'm going to mention it anyway, and shout out to some of the drivers who used to drive it, which was AL. You used to racing it, didn't you? Paper Meat and DPS, you did as well.
I did, yeah.
I actually won my first ever race at Suzuka in a Red Bull in F4 actually for AL. I was battling Jedi David all the way through, and it was hard work because I actually went around the entire track with one warning and no penalties. And it was hard work, especially as I was actually on the hard tyres and he was on the softs and he was catching me up, and I literally did everything I possibly could for 6 laps to keep him behind me. The only good fortune was if I went on for another 2 laps, he probably would have beaten me, but I got my first win, and unfortunately Brundle wasn't around to actually to talk to me about me winning that race, so. He was quite disappointed, so, you know. But yeah. Right, anyway, so, well, I think that's pretty much everything. Unless anybody else has got some announcements or anything like that to mention, or, you know.
I don't think so.
Ross?
Chat's pretty quiet. I mean, not on my end, chat-wise, unless you just want to get your questions in, get them in now.
Yeah, please, guys, if you've got any questions. I mean, the chat has been very quiet, but I think a lot of people.
Don't think I'm not looking at it. I mean, it's been on the whole hour.
But also, I know for a fact that England are playing live tonight, so I think that's probably one of the reasons why as well.
Yeah,
football's been played. England play football
they'll
tonight,
probably play back and
go on,
watch it
England.
later.
Come on, lads.
Sorry to hear that, lads.
Sorry to hear that. I mean, don't start. I mean, wait, listen. The English are doing us proud. We're in the quarterfinals. I mean, you lost to Japan, man. That's disgraceful. You should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah. You lost to Japan. True. You got whooped. You know what I mean? You got taught a lesson. Yeah, they are. They are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They are a very good team. But the fact is, the Irish came walking in there, giving it all the begin, and they got taught. They got knocked down a peg or two by the Japanese. Yeah, fair play to them. So, but there you go. Right. Well. On that note, I'd just like to say thank you very much, Mr. DPS Racing, for joining us. Again, congratulations on getting driver of the day and a really good performance as well. Pepper, mate, it's been great having you here tonight, mate. You know what I mean? It's awesome actually sitting and in here with you. Thank you very much for joining us, and I look forward to next week. Of course, Primus, same to you, buddy. I know we took the mick out of you a little bit, and I'm sure you're going to want to You want to get a shout out to your new best friend? Go on, get it out your system.
Go on, son, get out of your system. Go on, lads.
Do it.
Give me 2 minutes.
No, I think
Come
it's
on,
all good.
come
I think you
on.
already did
Wrap
it
it
earlier.
up.
Mates here,
Come
we're
on.
all friends. We're not here to judge. Come on,
no.
come on, come on.
Go on, do it
It's
for your dad.
already out of the
Do it,
room,
go on,
mate. There's
go
no
on, do
need
it,
to force it
do
back
it.
in.
Come on, do it. Do it!
Whoa.
Come on.
You turn into
Do
Arnold.
it! Come on, son. Do it.
Go on.
Now!
Get
I'll
rid
do
of the
it.
All right
job.
then. All right
Come
then.
on.
Go on, do
Thank
it.
you, Spiral, for helping me get some practice in the Hungarian before the race.
Yeah, and
I heard it from him.
and-
No, that's it.
And come on.
There's no
Listen,
and. That's it. No,
listen,
that-
look, listen. It would be better if you just open up and admit it. Come on, Primus. No, man.
Pictures were shared.
Don't
I
turn
want
up
There
to-
was
The
no
pictures,
explicit
otherwise,
pictures
I will-
taken in
I will
any
make
shape
sure
or form.
those pictures will go on Discord for everybody to see. Come on, out with it.
No, there was
Now.
none taken
There's
in
a
any shape or form.
I think we dropped the whole. There's a few pictures on my phone that no one should ever see, so I think we should leave it here.
Oh,
They'll probably say me.
Wow. Oh, there you go. Put them on Discord, mate. You know what I mean? We're all mates here.
And what if I call whenever I try to post that and it says no permissions? So you know.
It would be
Probably
like
don't want to.
RSF1's
Speak-
pin-up.
Speak to your new best buddy or best buddy, Shane.
No,
the
what's
bench that
he?
way.
Go on, lad.
Yeah. Anyway, anyway, from me, King Essex Tomo, from Primus Gaming, from Pepper Me, and also from DPS Racing. Thank you so much for obviously listening. We hope to get some more viewers. We had 36 viewers, so thank you very, very much to all of you that actually watched our podcast back, and also some of you that watch it on YouTube. Thank you so much. Keep on doing it. Keep on watching it. Please get the voices out there. We want to try. We want to keep on. Yeah, exactly. Don't stop believing, like he's just said. You know what I mean? And just for Camo and just for a couple of people, I will end it on this. Okay, so yeah, I think you know what's coming, Primus. You know what I mean? And that's all from us. Good night for you.
See you in a bit.